beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Before we kick off, just a quick note here from Bayer of Red. PTU playtest happening tomorrow. That is Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time for 3 hours. There are playtests running. It is expected that this will be the Xeno Threat playtest on the PTU. So if you are available on Saturday and Sunday, that's the 24th and the 23rd, for 3 hours starting at 2 o'clock Central Time. Get in there, and it looks like we are getting the Xeno Threat test. Exciting stuff. All right, let's talk about this. Now, this was perfect timing because I just did a video yesterday talking about, well, actually, it was Gameranks, a very large channel that was asking the question, I guess, rather making the criticism, why, no, that's not what I did. Rather, the criticism was Star Citizen is taking too long. And my rebuttal was the question should be, well, rather the question which no one asked, why is Star Citizen taking so long? Which was answered right here, in a way, by Will Hain, who is an engine programmer. Now, very important to remember, he's an engine programmer. He is not an environmental artist. This is important because I'll show you why in a second. So Gameranks, which is a massive channel, was saying, hey, Star Citizen taking so long. Development started in 1993 when Chris Roberts first drew an Aurora on a napkin, and therefore development began over 30 years ago at this point in time. And my rebuttal is, hey, I think the question is you should be looking at why it's taking this long, because Star Citizen is not making just one game. They're making two games. They're making a single-player game and an MMO at the same time in parallel. So the question is, why is it taking so long? Well, the thing is, you got to look at the metrics, all right? And by a metric, we can all understand, like Cyberpunk. And that is, how long did it take Cyberpunk to come along? Actually, let me pause this while I get my point across. How long did it take Cyberpunk to come out? Well, 2012 was announced, and it came out end of last year. So 8 years, and you saw what happened there. So if you take an existing game developer, a game developer that has a studio and artists and engine devs and environmental artists and everyone you need to make the game, it took them 8 years to get that. And it's a single-player game, not even an MMO, which Star Citizen is working on at the same time in parallel, all right? Is it fair to say that Star Citizen will take more than 8 years? I think absolutely. Will it take 10? Will it take 12? Fair enough, it can. But the reason why things are taking long is because Star Citizen needed to develop the tools to make things happen the way they want. They don't have the tools they need to create the game they want. So here we have an example of one of the engineers here simply playing around in the engine and creating, well, let me go for where he dropped this base down. So here he is showing, I'm going to drop a base down here. Bam, clicks a button, procedurally generated. There it is, a base. So, okay, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is this is a fully functional base in the game. The landing pads work. You should be able to rearm and repair on them. Inside one of the buildings will be a kiosk. You can call up ships, make them spawn. Everything you need and expect a base to have is there by clicking a button. Now, that wasn't always there. There was a point in time not too long ago where they had to take each of these assets, drop them in, fix them up, put them in the right direction, decide where to put the buildings, decide where to put the antenna. And they said, if there is a way we can just get this to be generated procedurally, I'm messing up that word, how many hundreds of dev hours will we be able to save down the line? Well, to create this tool is going to take us 100 dev hours, but how many thousands of dev hours over the years will we save by getting to the point where you can click and the whole base pops up? This is what's taking so long, because they're working on these tools. And we have an example of the tool doing exactly what they needed to do. Now, and what Will keeps on showing us here is them creating a river. Now, this is kind of an interesting point to make, because in a game where they're counting on your immersion, your brain, when this is completed and done right, when you fly over this area, this looks like Microtech, when you fly over this area and the river's there and everything looks great, you won't look at it twice. And the fact that you don't even look at it twice means they've done their job right. Your brain expects rivers to appear in certain places in the geography, at the bottom of valleys, at the bottom of valley drains into some other area, is a catchment, a larger pool of water. Your brain knows what things should be and where. And the fact that this tool plots it out for you, showing us right now how it's plotting where the water's going to go, it will just seem natural. And when it seems natural, you don't even know it's there. It's kind of that's the irony of it. Because done right, you don't even give it two thoughts or another look. And when the time comes to us to fly over this, and you'll be flying over the rivers, well, not you because you'll be paying attention because I've explained it to you now. But for new players who missed the entire development of Star Citizen, simply bought the game on launch, and are flying around and see a river, they won't know half of what went into it to get to this point here. The tool he's showing you, now keep in mind, he is not an environmental artist. The environmental artist has a job where they sit down and they go, this is the type of tree we need. This is the type of rocks we have here. This is where the moss grows on this side of the rock to face this direction. This is what the environmental artists do. Will is not even an environmental artist. He knows nothing about the art style and everything. He's clicking some buttons on the tool they made to simply plop down, create the river, and everything you need around it. Let's just go forward a bit to, here we go. Now he put in the texture of the oceans. Now he said it's the ocean texture, so it doesn't look very river-like, but there it is. Look at it. It's beautiful. I wouldn't know that this wasn't an environmental pass over this. He just clicked some buttons and the tool put everything they need in there. How many hundreds or how many thousands of hours is Star Citizen going to save down the line by creating this tool to allow any one of the developers just to drop down rivers wherever they want a river to exist? This is the kind of thing that Star Citizen has been working on until now. So while the criticism is that it's taken 8 years to make this one single system, look at the fine details which exist in just this one point on the map of this river. This kind of detail is what makes Star Citizen a great game. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and appreciate what it took to get to this point in time, because I guarantee, a couple of years from now, we'll be flying around. We won't look at this twice because it will just appear there. Everything will appear right where it needs to be, like that. Look at it. And, I just have to take a moment and appreciate the effort and time it took to get to this point, and how easier it's going to be going down the line for all the future game developers who work at CIG to create the new worlds, the new planets, new systems. And the criticism of it taking 8 years to make one system, it is not linear progression. Heading forward, it is not going to take 8 years to make the next system. The next 10, 20 systems will be made in a couple of months. Once the studio in Montreal is running, they'll be spinning out entire systems in weeks, in months maybe, if not weeks, and simply laying down terrain, rivers, trees, bases, buildings, everything they need. You click a button and it's in. The hard work has been done. Going forward over the next year or 2 years, you will see a rapid increase in the rate of new systems and terrains and buildings and everything else coming out because of the tools we have in place for that. Well, that was a great episode there of Inside Star Citizen. Thank you, guys. If you enjoy my content, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget tomorrow, the Xion Threat playtest. It is happening at 2 Central Time for 3 hours. Get in there. Looking forward to reporting back on that on Monday. I'll catch you in the next one.